Congratulate me. I've made 10,000 subscribers. In reverse. Yeah, huh? So they keep on knocking off subscribers. I'm back to 10,000 even. I imagine before I get done editing this video, I'll be below it. But so if you subscribe before, subscribe again. And if you're new and you like what I'm doing out here, if you have looked at my videos, or this is your first time and you like it, go ahead, subscribe. Support me in other ways also. There's the likes, and I guess that counts. The video you're about to see, the 3 clips I got here, is one of a retired teacher who says something that I've advocated for a long time. We have grown up in a country of extreme privilege, and because of that we have become soft, and because of that the powers that be have taken advantage of that softness. And that's why we're in the trouble we're in now. And that's why I'm out on the streets, trying to go ahead and reverse this damage. And the streets are the front lines. The middle one is a short clip that, I don't know, made me smile. It is probably the greatest compliment people can give me. It gives me and keeps me going out there, plus the comments and the support that my steadfast followers, subscribers give me. Because it's tough out there, and it's tough what I'm doing, and I don't know at times of, there are times I just feel like giving up and doing my woodwork and kissing this off. But I'm going to keep on doing it as long as I'm it's physically possible for me to do this. And then the last clip in here is some salt of the earth people, another teacher and a retired police officer that care, and realize about the things that matter in life. And if that's why I need your support. A lot of the support I get out there on the streets funds what I'm doing, but I need more than that. When I can't get out on the street, which is the case this month, it cuts in deeply and it hurts deeply. And so I need funding in other ways. So I do have direct deposit through PayPal. So if you have a PayPal account, you can reach me through badassuncle76@gmail.com. And if I'd like you to sign up, if you can, you just give me a regular $5 deposit every month. You can do that. You automatically deducts and contributes. Otherwise, of course, I'm going to get rid of my Patreon and GoFundMe accounts and get a post office box. So if you want to go ahead and just send me a check, that's a good way to do that too. So this is it, folks. I wanted to get on the streets with this, and I wanted to ask for your support, and I want to thank you for your continued support, and want you to know that this is how we do it, through God and hard work. And so please support me out there, and let's get on the streets. Here we are. Yes.
And they let the cattle go, and they ruin people's fences.
And where do you live on the border?
In Harlingen, Texas, which is about 25 miles from the border itself.
So you're right there.
Right there, exactly.
Right there.
At one time in the 80s, they let people in during the war in Nicaragua or whatever was going on, but they wouldn't let them go anywhere else except they all stayed right in our town around there, and it was terrible because then, my friend who's a doctor felt so bad, took them soup and stuff because they had nothing to eat, and I'm like, why the hell are you letting them in here, and then they can't even go past the checkpoint? What are we supposed to do? We already have a lot of problems down there.
Okay.
It's the poorest county in the United States. Cameron County.
And now they're belligerent. It's like they're It's like we owe them or something.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like they're grateful at all.
Yeah, well, I was a teacher, so I ran into that a lot.
Really? God, a tip of the hat to you, dear.
Oh.
I mean, that's, to me, is that's where the rubber meets the road.
It was hard. It was hard. But some of them were grateful, luckily.
Yeah. Well, I just spoke to a lady who was from Colombia, came up here 30-odd years ago, started out, cleaning bathrooms in a Walmart.
Yeah.
Now she owns her own restaurant. She goes, you work hard, this country will give you what you deserve. You just work hard. She became a legal immigrant. Now she's walking around, she's wearing Donald Trump socks.
That is funny. That is really funny. But no, it's just, people don't understand. Even people who are staying where I'm staying, they're like, oh, but they're all women and children. I said, no, they're not.
Right.
Look at the trucks, they're full of guys.
Yeah. I had another young lady come by too. She was a young liberal, and she was going, well, they're killing children. I said, dear, they're bringing children up. We don't even know if they're theirs.
Yeah.
I mean, the trafficking.
And the diseases are a significant problem.
Yes.
They have tuberculosis and other. My own daughter was exposed to tuberculosis by a nanny, which was my fault. And so I don't feel too great about that. Now she's grown and has children of her own, and she doesn't have a nanny. She pays $2,000 a month for each kid in California. It's very expensive, but luckily she makes good money, but for God's sake, But it was good for her to grow up there because she was determined to get out of there, And she's like, I have to get out of here. This is...
Yeah, but California is now
I mean, they're in a exclusive part, and she works for the Rand Corporation. She has her PhD in biostatistics. Yeah, and when she was at Stanford, she and this other girl whose father was from Iraq, and my daughter's father is from Iran. My husband is from Iran, and he came here in '76 under the Shah.
Yes.
So, they were the only two females in that program, and furthermore, each of them had, a father from someplace else. All the other people in the program were male, and they were Korean or something like that. And so I'm like, what is going on with our educational system? Why don't our own students measure up like they're supposed to?
There's a documentary of a KGB agent who defected in 1958 over here, so a very high KGB agent. And he lays out the plan of what they were going to do to take over America. And they said the very first thing, because it was like a 30, 40-year plan is what they had in. It was long range. It's because you can't do it militarily. You have to do it from the inside. He said the first thing you do is you take over the school boards. And you implant your people in the school boards, and you start teaching socialism. After a generation or two, you have a Bernie Sanders that's a viable candidate.
Yeah.
And so that's where it starts. That's why I bless you for being in there, for fighting the good fight and trying to keep things right.
Well, it took me a long time myself to realize what was going on,
Yes.
I told my friend, I said I didn't really want to vote for Cruz, but I had to because it was like another 9/11 to me. All of a sudden, I'm like, what? No, you can't just come in here like that. People didn't just swim onto Manhattan Beach and, they screen people for diseases, for this and that. It takes time. You can't put 7,000 people
and nobody,
at the same time.
And I don't think anybody appreciates this country more than legal immigrants.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And the people from Iran, from what I've studied and understood, they were the most westernized of that area. And then when the shock, things now are completely misled. There's some turmoil going over there. The people are still fighting back.
Yeah. Well, my husband's not Islamic. He's Baha'i, so they've been terribly persecuted.
Yes.
They won't let them go to school, have a government job.
Yes.
They took his father's pension away. They took their house away. you know, it was just, but anyway, and then my husband went back now 3 times. The first time he wanted to go back, I said, please don't go back until our daughter at least graduates from high school, because I know they'll let you in, but I don't know if they'll let you out.
Right.
You know, and but everything was okay. And then she went with him because she met her only surviving grandfather, and now he's passed away. But I was terrified, you know, because she was a sophomore at UT Austin, and I was like, okay, I have to think of some plan if she gets stuck there. What am I going to do, you know? But you have to have some trust in a marriage if that's what, you know, is going to happen. He wants that, and he wanted her to meet her cousins and all that, but she had to wear all that stuff, and she came back, she said, Mommy, I don't think you should go there until you have a class in anger management. I said, I know that. That's why I haven't got any immediate plans to go there. I'll probably look at somebody wrong and get myself...
Yeah, people don't realize how bad it is in other countries. We got it too good here. Maybe when you grow up here, you take everything for granted.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think it's good for people to have that experience of going to another country.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, I think I must say, I think I was spoiled, and I just went to college here in New Orleans and took everything for granted. And I think it's maybe a good idea to have everybody have to do a year of service like they do in Israel or something.
You know, I have always said that as a young person, before you graduate, you know, or in between even high school, you should go 6 months somewhere else, do some service, a year, you know, do service like they do in Israel, in another country, not Canada, but a third world country somewhere, and do that service to really appreciate what we have here.
Well, maybe even here. There's so many things that need doing here, you know.
Yeah.
So why not make it obligatory? I mean, you know, we have educated you for free for 18 years, you know, or whatever. Now it's your turn to give back a bit. But I'm sure it will never happen, like a lot of people think. You know.
I'm glad your students had you as a teacher.
Oh, thank you so much. Sometimes I ended up with 5. I started with 25. I ended up with 5 in one case because they couldn't read or write. It was terrible.
Oh, I don't. I really feel sorry for the teachers today. I hear like you're dealing with 15 different languages, 4 different kinds of bathrooms.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, you know, I don't get...
And there, I started looking into how to contact the parents. The addresses were nonsense. Yeah, there's a lot of corruption. And finally the principal got mad at me and screamed in a big meeting, if you're not happy here, go somewhere else. I mean, and I know it was directed.
For showing the corruption.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't it the case?
I would look up an address, it's not there. I called somebody, oh no, this is a pet store. I'm like, what the hell? You know, trying to check up. I mean, how am I supposed to get in touch with the parents if there aren't any parents? It was just awful. But anyway, I finally got out of there. But I'm like, oh.
Well, God bless you.
Yeah, thank you. Well, thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Sometimes you bring a lot of things that we don't think about. Like I've never thought about how they do us.
Well, thank you for that. That's what I try to do out here is get people to think. What an idea, huh?
You are enlightening a lot of people.
Well, thank you for
because
that.
I've seen it done and I've said it was wrong, but like I've never really paid attention to why we don't want these people in our country. They hate us, but then they want to come take over our country. Stay in your country.
Yeah, make it better.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
Yes.
I mean, we went through a revolution here to go ahead and make it better. We went through a civil war to make it better. We have our struggles, but we keep on moving forward to make it better. And you know, so why? And I just spoke to a lady that came from Colombia. So appreciative, worked away legally, became a citizen. That's the way you do it. You don't come in here and just expect to be taken care of. I mean, who's going to take care of them? You? You got enough problems. You're supposed to take care of other people with your money. Why? Well, you know.
What happens when I need help?
Yeah.
Everything is exhausted.
We got Americans right now living on the street. Can we take care of them first?
Yes. But the disrespectfulness when they burn our flag.
Yes. And then they expect to be just come, you know, be treated giving things. How does that make sense?
But we treat them good when we accept them in our country.
Oh, God bless you, darling. So only burn I got right now is why we haven't gone on the offensive.
Oh, exactly.
You know,
and I don't know if you watch the barrel of our George H.W. You know, Trump. He didn't even acknowledge her and Bill, which I thought was pretty cool himself. Yeah. You know, and she was just like,
yeah, let's steer straight ahead.
Oh yeah. And my bride thinks the same way, you know. So we're both pretty conservative minded. So.
And where are you guys from? Did I ask you?
We live in Daphne, Alabama.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you do there?
I'm retired.
From?
I'm retired, and she works for the school system.
Oh, tip of the hat to you, dear.
Thank you.
I mean, I've spoken to so many educators, and I mean, it's not the school I used to go to. I mean, so many things have changed.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I have to say, in the South, we're originally from the Midwest. In the South, they still have values. We still say the Pledge of Allegiance every morning.
Wonderful.
You would not do that in the Midwest.
Yes.
You cannot do that anymore in the Midwest.
And I belong to the Fraternal Order of Police here in Fairhope, Alabama, and we still, our monthly meetings, we're saying.
Is that what you're retired from? As a,
yes. So,
see, I always find that people that serve people seem to get together, you know. And that a lot of policemen are nurses or
exactly,
teachers, you know. And
it's people that
care.
That lockstep value,
yes.
You know. And it's, you know,
God and country.
It's God and country, and it's not that you can't sway a little way each way, but don't get me too far, you know. So
now there's a documentary. No, it's not a documentary. It's an interview with a guy named Rezanov. I think that's how you pronounce it. He was a KGB agent that defected in '58.
Oh yeah.
You saw that one? And he said to take over this country was you can't do it until militarily. Our plan was you start with the school boards and you infiltrate that way, and then after like a couple of generations, you got people voting for a Bernie Sanders.
It's just little pieces at a time. Before you know it, that's all these kids. What are you going to give me? What are you going to give me?
I had a group of them come by. They were in the debate class, right? Oh. And one of them, I'm an anarchist. I says, you know, it's health care. I says, well, you want health care, get a job and pay for it.
Yeah.
She goes, it should be free. I says, so you want everything free? She goes, yeah.
Who's paying for it?
I says, lady, you got a tough life ahead of you. Because, I mean, this is a tough life. There ain't nobody giving you anything.
No. And you know, even though you think you're getting something free, somebody else is paying for it.
Yeah.
It's they don't get it.
Yeah. And then, you know, see my question, I'm trying to debate them now. Why should we allow people in the country that are waving their flags and burning
doors?
He's the son of who's a Border Patrol agent in San Diego.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, so they're coming up, and they said they got to go down river. He's plainclothes intelligence, and once in a while he's got to put on the uniform and hold the line, you know, but it's...
When was the last time you spoke to him?
Just this week.
Yeah?
He said that, I was on call all last weekend. He said, I kept thinking they're going to say, we need you, but said they didn't rush the border. So he said, you know.
There was talk of that they were going to attack Saturday, exactly. And they held off, I guess, you know.
Well, he's been there for a couple weekends in a row, you know, and down there holding the line, you know, and it's tough.
Oh, man, where's that wall, huh?
Oh, man, exactly. And it costs less to build the fucking wall than it would to support all these people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what people don't understand.
Yeah.
They don't understand that. But
you name into that. That's why you're teaching. Hopefully you understand.
Exactly. You know,
but yeah, everything's backwards. Everything's upside. It's like you fell down a rabbit hole, and it's like, you know.
Exactly like.
And you ask them questions, and they have no answers. They just have these talking points.
You just pay for it.
Right. It's the talking points. You know, it's the talking head. They just know the bit they heard. And Bernie Sanders.
Yeah. You know. It's simple questions. He's a liar. All right, give me a lie.
Okay.
Crickets.
Back that up.
You know, crickets. You know,
exactly.
He's a crook. All right, what has he done? Crickets.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
It's you know. Oh yeah, it's good. God, I love this. This is liberal. Comes around all the time. If he went to Central Casting, he said, "Give me a dumb liberal." They crank this guy out. He's just nothing but global warming. I go, let me ask you something about global warming, man. So too much CO2 in there, right? Yeah, we're too much CO2 in the world. Okay, how much CO2 is in the atmosphere right now?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. The scientists know. Well, why don't you know?
You're talking about it.
Yeah. If there's too much of it, shouldn't you give me what's the perfect amount? What should be the optimum?
And how is it affecting you every day of your life?
Yeah. And then I ask you, CO2, plants breathe it in, and they breathe out oxygen. We love oxygen.
Yeah.
We need it. Plus, the more CO2, the bigger plants grow, and the faster they grow, and then we get more food.
Exactly.
So why do liberals hate food and people?
And they talk about knocking down fossil fuel plants. Well, you know, you don't like lights on?
Yeah.
because solar can't do it.
Right. Yeah. Show me the solar airplane.
Exactly. I wouldn't want to ride it.
No, I'm not flying in it. No. You have to fly above the clouds? I mean, how do you get there if the clouds, how does it get off the ground? You know, I mean.
Take some fuel.
Did you get a get out of jail free card from Hillary Clinton?
Well, you know, I know my buddy got one last time, and I probably need him because if it's worked for her.
But they heard there's an investigation on now into the Clinton Foundation they just started.
Okay, good.
I hope it's true because I keep on hearing these.
Oh yeah.
You know, but supposedly they're looking into the Clinton Foundation now. Finally, there's another investigation. Finally, this group of lawyers that presented the evidence of WTC-7 and 9/11. And Congress is going to open an investigation into looking into that.
Really?
That would be interesting.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Because that's been a bone with me for 17 years.
Oh, okay.
You know, that whole, I mean, we never had a criminal investigation on it. I mean, you were a former policeman. How does 3,000 people get murdered and you don't have an investigation?
Yeah, and also what gets me is Hillary and the Benghazi. What does it matter? What does it fucking matter? I mean, my God, what does it fucking matter? I mean,
she should have been smacked in the head right there.
Bitch slapped right there.
I mean,
what does it matter? Well, let me tell you what does it matter. You know,
ask the people's families that were killed.
What does it matter? Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. All right, partner.
All right, it's a pleasure.
I'll let you get on there, buddy.
Thank you very much. Check out my YouTube channel.
Absolutely.
And in the back of that aisle, so you can get a lot of my designs and apparel.
Right.
And they come with a trigger back guarantee. If you don't trigger a liberal, you get your money back.
You know I will.
All right.
All right.
Pleasure meeting you.
Pretty often. We'll talk.
Okay.
Well, that does it for today's video, and I want to thank you for watching. And if you like my efforts and what I'm trying to do out here, please subscribe. And if you can support me, because I need that desperately to remain out there and to continue what I'm doing. It's a fight that I think needs to be done. And if you feel the same way, then realize I'm on the front lines out there. If anything happens, it's going to happen on the streets first, and that's where I am. So I want to thank you all. God bless you all. Be with God. May God be with you.